Hello everyone, Kaiser here, and today I'm back with a new video, which is my custom Shoto Todoroki from My Hero Academia. Now this is a video that I've been meaning to get out for a while, but mostly due to stuff like school. It has been kind of hard, but I'm out for spring break. I'll definitely be able to get more videos out, and I thought why not start with a custom that I did a while back. I think it was like, finishes out like in February, which is Shoto Todoroki. Now, if you don't know, there is already a Figma Todoroki and even a McFarlane Todoroki, so I could have obviously gotten one of those, but I had started this before those figures were announced. So I still thought, why not finish it? I still put a lot of time into it, and I still like how it came out. So with that, let's get into the video. And here we have the custom Shoto Todoroki, and as you can see, it's not the original design. This is actually a redesign that I had saw from one of Vocal Pineapple's videos, you know, the guy with the coolest intro ever. But when I first saw it, I was definitely thinking, yes, I wanted to make my Shoto look exactly like his. But then I thought, you know, I would make a few changes to that design and kind of make it a little bit more unique, which I'll go over in a sec. Starting with the head, you can see that it's actually not that bad. I was worried about how I was gonna do Shoto's head and how it would come out, but I think it actually turned out really well. As you can see, the scar on his left eye or right eye, I can't really tell right now. I think that's pretty well done, along with the eyes. They don't look out of place or anything. The hair, I think, is also pretty well sculpted. And for his head, if I can take it off on camera, his hair or face is actually removable. And I should mention that some of these parts are actually from the Figma Archetype version 1, so that's why he has a removable faceplate, because if you wanted, you could actually make different faces. I am going to do that eventually, but for now I decided to just stick with the one face, which is his neutral face. For the costume itself, like I said, it is very similar to Vocal Pineapple's Shoto redesign. I did make a few changes, so if I put a picture here, you will see that it is somewhat different, but as you can see, it is still a mostly blue outfit. I did add hints of red in there, you know, because he's both fire and ice. As you can see on the back, he still has this armor or whatever this is. I'm not really sure. I did make a bit of a redesign to it, and there's also a peg in the back so he could fit on a Figma stand. The belt is pretty simple. This was made, I think it was made out of tape, and these little vials here, full of like the medicine stuff, are made out of toothpicks. For his arm bracelets, these are actually from the original show. I didn't make any changes about those. I just decided to keep those the same. For his legs, so yeah, from the waist down, his legs actually have a pair of pants, if you can see. So they were sewn, and I did add a design to them on the side of the legs and on the front. It is kind of hard to see, but you can kind of see it. And it doesn't get in the way of any articulation, so that's good. And for the shoes or the boots, those pretty much stay the same. So yeah, overall, it is a redesign of the original, and there are a few slight changes to Vocal Pineapple's original design, but I still think it works for a redesign of Shoto Todoroki. Now, Shoto doesn't come with a lot of accessories. Like I said, if you wanted, you could make different faces for him. I haven't yet. But aside from that, the only real accessories he has are the different hands you get with the original Figma archetype, which is a pair of fists, a pair of open hands, a pair of spread out open hands, and a pair of holding hands. So yeah, like I said, there's not a lot here, but it's still enough. I was actually thinking of getting like some of those SH Figure Arts action figure effects, so I could have both fire and ice for him. So that's something I will hopefully get in the future. So when it comes to articulation, he actually has a surprisingly good amount. His head can move side to side, and it can go a little bit up and down. The arms can go forward, backward, and out to the sides. He doesn't have a bicep swivel, but he does have an elbow swivel, which also acts as his elbow bend. He has a wrist swivel in the hinge, and this is true for all of his arms. He has a waist swivel, and an ab swivel here, and that also acts as a crunch. He can move that far forward and that far back, but it does kind of make a gap right here. His legs can go that far forward, they can go not really that far back, and they can move out to the side. His legs can go, not legs, he can bend his knee, and it can go forward if you want to. Again, he doesn't really have a thigh swivel, but he does have a knee swivel, and his ankle can go back, forward, and he does have a bit of an ankle pivot. So you can get some pretty good poses with him. It is somewhat limited, but I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to My Hero Academia figures, at least the ones I've made, I've gotten used to it, because Kirishima, Uraraka, Kaminari, as you can all see here, all of them don't have a bicep swivel, but they all have an elbow swivel, and it does work surprisingly well. So the articulation is still pretty good for this figure. And that is my custom Shoto Todoroki figure. And you would think that this is where I would end the video, but no. When I first started making my custom Shoto Todoroki, I realized that just making him wouldn't be enough. If I had to make Shoto, I would also have to make the man who made him into who he is today. The man who is seen as a hero to everyone except his own family. That's right, I also made Todoroki's father, Endeavor, and like I said before, this was a figure that I started making before I started making Todoroki, and I really like how it came out as well. If you don't know, this version of Endeavor is made, well, it's based off of his second costume, and at the time, it wasn't in the anime. While it wasn't a manga, it was really hard to find like colored pictures. There were a few, so I can't remember which one I had used, but I'll put one of them on the screen, so I decided to follow that. We'll start with the head, which is removable. Now, when it came to making all these flame effects for Endeavor, what I did was I took a piece of parchment paper and then lightly put down like thin layers of hot glue on that parchment paper, cut it into the shape I wanted it to be, and then hot glued it onto the figure. So that's what I did with his flame mask and his beard on the head. And even for the head, it was really hard to get the eyes right under the mask, because what I did was I made the eyes first and then put the mask on. But I still think it turned out pretty well. You can see that the eyes are still visible. And even for his flame mustache, all I really did was color that on. For the main body, the funny thing about this figure actually is that while this is made from different pieces, all these pieces are actually from the same character, Batman. What I mean is, the main body is from a Batman figure, the lower arms are from a Batman figure, the head is from a Batman figure. I just find that funny. So yeah, for the main body, what I did was sculpted this piece here and these 4 pieces here. Then I went over and painted it all white, and then painted it mostly blue. And then for the flame effects, at least for the neck one around his neck, That's actually made from like real flame effects. Can't remember which one from which figure. For the shoulder pads, these are on pieces of tape, so they are removable, so they won't get in the way. And like I said, for most of the flame effects, these are made from hot glue. So that includes the ones on his arms, the ones on his belt, the ones on his legs, or on his boot pieces, and giant piece on his back. So yeah, it was really simple to make these. It did take a while, but after the actual construction of them was done, all I really did was paint them. This did allow me to be a little bit sloppy, so I had like brushes of yellow, red, orange, you know. I should say that these stripes on his legs are made from tape. And for the articulation, he's kind of big, so the head can go side to side. It is kind of hindered by these flame pieces. The head can go a little bit up and down. His arm can move, well, there we go. So his arm can move out. It can't go that far. Can't go forward, back, pretty much in a 360. He does have a bicep swivel. He does have a single jointed elbow, and that elbow can also swivel. And he also has a wrist hinge. He can crunch that far forward. He can't really crunch back to that due to that giant flame piece. He does have a waist swivel. His legs can go that far. Oh, sorry. They can't go forward. It does kind of get hindered by the belt piece. So yeah, can't go forward. Can't really go back. He does have a thigh swivel. He does have a single jointed knee, and he can't really move his feet, but they can hinge. So yeah, it is, I want to say this was actually a pretty simple custom to make. At first I thought it would be pretty hard, but after most of the hard parts were done, you know, making the flames and stuff, it was actually really simple. And the articulation, it's still good enough to get into, like, you know, some really cool poses. And when it comes to how he's standing next to his son, if I can, you can see that they do stand pretty well together. He is 6 feet, so he might be a little too tall, I'm not sure, but I think this actually works pretty well. So that was my custom Shoto Todoroki and Endeavor figure. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will try to get another video out hopefully soon. But still, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.